Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the town board meeting, March 14th, 2024. Can I have a motion to open up that meeting?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, first item on the agenda is review and approve a resolution that authorizes the town of Goshen Police Chief to sign a document with the County of Orange to allow the Goshen Police Department to participate and be financially reimbursed for enforcement activities associated with the countywide stop DWI program. There's a resolution attached and an intermunicipal agreement with the county, spells out everything. Any comments from the board?
I have a question.
Sure.
What percentage of their time would this take, you suppose?
I don't know.
I mean, I could see if they were just pulling somebody over or whatever, and they found it drunk, then they could deal with it, but,
I think this is joint activities between the state police, the sheriff's department, and the different departments. When they do something in our town, our police would be engaged with them.
okay.
I don't think it's an ongoing everyday program. I just think it's whenever they're doing something. Anybody else?
No.
George?
No, I'm good.
Good?
Need a roll call?
Yes, you do. Well, first I need a motion to.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All right.
Councilmember Cantorino?
Aye.
Councilmember Lyons?
Aye.
Supervisor Petra?
Aye.
Councilmember Florio?
Aye.
Councilmember Boucher?
Aye.
Okay. All right. If you recall, roughly a year ago, the Goshen Youth Baseball Program came in and made a presentation to us on a quote that they had received in order to put lights on the girls' softball field. We, at that meeting, said, great, let's see what you can do. Go out and put your mind to it and see how much money you can raise and come back to us. And I'm delighted to hear back to talk to us tonight about what they've done. I think it's tremendous.
Yeah, you can move around. Yeah.
So my name is Mike Angelino from the town, born and raised in the village, Goshen Little League board member. We came to you guys and joint recreation to present lighting the girls' softball field at Craigville Park. I don't know if you need me to recap anything, but in front of you guys should all have the latest quote from us for lighting. I don't know if you have any questions for me regarding the project or the specs of the project, but financially proud to tell you guys that out of the $235,000, Goshen Little League has secured $175,000 of that $235,000. So we are approaching the finish line and hoping to get the town to support the remaining balance to fully fund the project and schedule for 2024, and in hopes to get it done for fall ball. Obviously, working with the town and joint recreation on scheduling would be the obvious.
So that's roughly 55K you're looking for. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No,
Great job.
65K.
Can't believe you raised that.
Yeah, no, I think you guys did a phenomenal job, and I take my hat off to each and every one of you, as I know it was difficult. I have some questions that have to be looked at internally after the board speaks about their positions, but I think that from our perspective, anything that we are contributing to may have to go out to bid. I'm not sure about that. I'll find that out and give you an answer on that, but Bill, do you have any questions?
Yeah, that was my first comment, that it probably, the whole job would have to be put out to bid. Even anything over 35,000 for the, or 36,000 for the town itself would have to go out to bid. So, but I don't know, does the recreation department have any funding in their capital budget for this?
The town has, could cover it in the parkland fees that we have in, plus the new ones coming in. Yes, we could. We knew that when we gave them the go-ahead to
Right.
go ahead and look at it.
Okay, good. I just didn't know if we provided for it in the capital portion of the.
So my question about
Yeah.
it going out to bid, is that only because you guys are allotting town money?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's over the threshold of our purchasing, procurement policy. But what I need to find out from Christine tomorrow, and I apologize, I would have done it today, but I didn't get back to town till 4:30. What I have to find out from Christine is, one, was this a prevailing wage?
There's, I don't know about on that one, but they have quoted it both ways for us.
Okay.
So prevailing wage, just to be
Pops
transparent,
at 40%, I know.
at least.
Yeah, no, we're aware of that. So what I need to find out from Christine is if we make a commitment to say, yes, we're gonna support this 65,000, can our 65,000 strictly go to the cost of equipment? And then you guys cover the rest of it, therefore it wouldn't be prevailing wage.
And that-
I'm assuming that. I don't know, I'm assuming that.
No, I think no matter what, if you ask the attorneys, because this is going to be a project on a town facility,
Mhm.
and it's also subsidized by the town, this thing will probably have to go out for a bid no matter what. But I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong.
Yeah.
What is the threshold for that not?
36,000.
36,000
Okay.
for us.
Yeah, so it's.
So this figure here is not prevailing wage for installation.
Correct.
Yeah.
We have had it quoted both ways, but I don't believe it's on that document.
So
Yeah.
for argument's sake, it's 40%, 100 and almost 150,000.
Probably 160,000 just for install.
Yeah, and just to give you a little back history, I'm on the Goshen Little League Board about 8 years, and this has been a topic since day one that I've been
Yeah.
there. And almost every roadblock we've hit is for very close to that reason.
Yeah.
It just prices us out of even trying to fundraise that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, George? Rick, you have any
Of
questions?
course, we're not gonna call it girls softball.
No.
This will be a softball field that will be lit up.
I'll counter that with the boys' majors baseball field that's been lit for probably 20 years.
Yeah, but that's not the boys' field either.
Right.
Oh, Christine, I'm sorry, Christine is here.
Yes.
There you go. I don't
I'd
have
say it
to.
has to be bid out.
Has to be bid out.
Yeah, I knew it.
All right, so can you go back to, the problem is, I know what they're gonna run into, is very, very, very few people, very few companies in the United States that do this type of work.
So Musco Lighting did Goshen Central School District, Monroe Woodbury, Warwick, West Point is how I have contacts with them. They do all of the Northeast.
Are they under state contracts by
So-
any chance?
Yeah.
They might have
I'm
state
sure-
Can you get me a
contracts
contact,
and
Mike, there?
Yeah.
Because if they have one bids, we can piggyback off of it, absolutely.
Okay.
Especially state.
Yep.
Yeah,
County,
no problem.
the county may too have recreational state contracts or whatever, county
That's
contracts.
fine.
So
Yeah,
just give me the contact, I'll find out. Would that be sufficient, Christina?
Yeah, if we find a way to do it.
Can you weigh in on the position of if we take our money and only pay for hardware, does it have to be prevailing wage?
I don't think you could do that because it's part of the whole project.
Okay.
It's a town project
Yeah.
on town property.
Okay.
But what we would like to.
I'll get a legal position from Kelly on this
Okay.
tomorrow. I would ask Rory, but Rory's in the hospital, we're not sure when Rory will be out of the hospital, so.
So, as Joe already said, I commend you and your organization. It's absolutely fabulous that you
Yeah.
were able to raise that amount of money. It's absolutely great.
Thank
Many of the things that we've done over the years, though, with the JRC is we partnered with them. A lot of the projects at the park. So there was money that came in from the organization, money that came from the village, and even some money came in from the JRC. So I guess my question, probably don't have an answer, is whether or not there could be a contribution of some of this from the village and/or JRC if they have any money left in their budget.
Yep, so we started this process with JRC about 18 months ago. Did the same exact presentation process. They thought that we would have better luck here, not allocating any specific dollar amount to us. But we will certainly go back and see if we can, you know.
That's why it's called joint, right?
It's a joint commission.
Yeah.
Well, we are working on a relatively large project at Erie Street, that'll be presented to the board in the coming weeks, and the village has committed to pay their fair share on that one. So that's a major overhaul there.
It should.
Bathrooms, new fields, new
Yeah.
basketball courts, a lot of different things there.
I think we should really, I know we're gonna work on trying to find a way to get this done.
Oh, sure.
All of us, well, I shouldn't say all of us. George and I have spoken, and you've spoken.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't, Mary, I don't know if we can just say that we're gonna work on it, there's no vote or nothing, correct?
Not unless you want to commit to donating the $60,000 to them.
Well, I'd like a little more information. I'd like to reach out to both Molly and Trish, find out if they have anything. I personally
We have to
yeah.
get this on the.
I personally don't have a problem funding it. We have the money, and we tasked you with going to do it.
Yeah.
I figured you were gonna come back and say, we raised $75,000, and we would have to try to figure it out. So I'm gonna push as hard as I can, because I think it's phenomenal what you guys did out there, each and every one of you. I know you were all out there. So, just give me a week.
Yeah, I'll give you the Musco
Give me
contract.
the Musco contract, let me speak to him, give me a week to talk to Molly and Trish, and, we'll pull the board and have a decision for you by next meeting.
Awesome.
So if there was even one municipality that actually did this,
Right,
on
piggyback.
their bid, we can piggyback off of that, whatever that bid is, and maybe get to a more reasonable figure.
Understood. Okay.
I would imagine the school put it out to bid, and they won the bid, but that would be sufficient for us.
Yeah, okay.
Fair enough?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Congratulations, each and every one of you.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Review and discuss a request by Key Capture Energy to amend the local law number 1 of 2021 battery energy storage system. They put together a package for us in here.
Is anybody here from them?
I was just gonna ask the same thing. Okay.
Sure, go ahead.
Good evening, my name is Austin Scarborough. I'm here on behalf of Key Capture Energy. We're an energy developer. We have projects all over, but especially here in New York, including New York's first battery storage project up in Saratoga. We're here today. We've been in communication with the town in regards to a particular parcel. The town currently has a battery storage law that includes an overlay zone, which is great, and it lists a specific set of parcels, but since that law has passed, we've had a property owner reach out to us, and specifically reach out to us in order to build a set of battery storage on their property. And the only issue is that that particular parcel is not listed in the overlay zone. And so this would just be a simple amendment to add that parcel so that the landowner we would be able to proceed with the project. And there's ample space for plenty of visual buffers and things of that nature. But this is not a major amendment to the law, it's just specifically to add that one particular parcel.
It's major. We'd have to change the law. It's
Yeah.
absolutely major.
Changing the
Not a
process,
little.
but it's not.
Okay, just so you understand.
Yes,
This
I,
is major.
From my perspective, we it's up to us to approve whether it's gonna be done, but I still think this application needs to go to the planning board on this.
oh, yes, it will.
Okay, so I think you need to go to the planning board first, then let it refer back to us. Make sure that that the parcel meets the criteria for what needs to be done. I could be wrong, but anybody wanna jump in?
Right, yeah, we're doing this just as a preliminary measure, before
Yeah.
spending all the money and going through all the environmental studies and all of the further design plans. This is, because if we're not able to add the parcel, then we're not gonna move forward with the project.
Right.
It's just, this is just a preliminary.
It's difficult for us to sit here and make a decision on that. We obviously have a law, we obviously have an overlay district. Adding something to the overlay district can be done, but this board's not going to react to it unless the planning board looks at it and says, yeah, there's no issue here, there's nothing that's gonna happen, it's close enough, or so far and so on. So I would say, you're not gonna spend a ton of money, you're gonna get in front of the planning board with the purpose of determining whether there are any environmental impacts to this property or this area. and then they'll refer it back to us.
Yeah, this was just a preliminary, just to see if the parcel can even be added. Because of course, even if the parcel was added, then we would go through the full formal review of the planning board as
So the
well.
parcel is not contiguous, right, to the overlay? It's separate someplace?
It is separate, it's over, it's on
Yeah.
25 Smith Road.
So what will happen is that we will make an exception, create a precedent, so they can have battery storage anywhere in the town. Because if we change the law, we cannot change it for that one parcel. We change the law itself, just so you understand. And what Joe said is we don't want you to run around and chase your tail on something and spend a lot of money, and then come back here and say, well, you guys sent me to the planning. So it's a lot different than just maybe a contiguous parcel to expand the overlay. This is something completely different, so it would set a precedent, just so you.
No, I
know,
understand.
And be fair with you. And then the other thing is battery storage. We've always questioned when we were doing solar, is that the same type of battery storage as the solar?
There are different types of battery storage, but yes, this is similar to the battery storage that's accompanied with solar, but there's also a lot of battery storage projects that are standalone.
Right, but
as well.
we've discouraged, to a certain extent, I'm not sure how the rest of the board feels, battery storage units attached to solar, and now they're coming in with non-battery, am I right, George? Non-battery storage units.
Yeah,
So it's, because there are dangers and so on and so forth.
This is separate from solar, this would just be battery storage.
Battery storage, okay, thank you.
So 25 Smith Road, and I'm looking at the map here. What side of Smith Road is it? Is that Smith Road and Phillipsburg? What's that?
So that's where Smith turns into Boyd. And I can't read, what is that, artwork?
Axworthy.
Actually, I'm sorry, it's cut off in the map. But that's where Smith turns into Boyd and Axworthy.
Right,
I
right.
see that. And that, the entire parcel is, in my particular picture here, is blue, is 76 acres, right?
Correct.
And you want to do this whole project on 6 acres, is that right?
Yes, if you flip later into attachment 1, you'll see an outline. There's a yellow map, the first
Yeah.
page, and there's a yellow line that outlines the project area. So the project area is just a small portion of the overall acreage of the parcel. And because of the size, that would provide ample room for visual buffers and vegetation, and so.
Yeah, but you would actually be purchasing, I guess, the whole 76 acres.
Yes.
Right. To the upper, it looks, in my thing, as I'm looking at the left-hand side, the power lines are right there, right? The high power lines are right there on the left side of that map?
I believe so, yes. Yes. We would use a specific type of technology called a tap-in, which is where we would use a substation to connect.
The only other thing I read at this particular juncture is you talk about the two ways you can interconnect.
Yes.
And I read it, but I was
Yeah.
wondering
One
if
is
you
the
could give
tower.
me the, I know the direct interconnection, that's relatively simple, but could you give me the Reader's Digest version of this line tap to existing transmission lines?
Yeah, so I think one of the best ways to put it kind of from that 30,000 foot level is that the line tap would involve us building a new substation. Of course, that would be included within the project, and of course visually buffered as well. But it would be we would need to, so the first option is where we're essentially adding certain equipment to substation to help make that connection. But with the line tap, we're building a substation, and that's what, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's still just as efficient. It's just based on the way battery storage is structured, it has to be within a certain distance of a transmission line to be able to feed in.
One safer than the other?
They're both the same safety.
Same.
Mhm. There's just cost differences because of what's required to build a substation, things of that nature.
I can tell you from my perspective, I've seen 3 fires at battery storage units in the last 16 months in this county. I am sympathetic to the fact that, you know, the governor has the CLCPA in place and she wants zero emissions by 2050, and that can only be done with the use of electricity on everything. So I guess what I'm saying is I know there's risk associated with this, but I'm gonna need to get a lot more information on the type of battery, what it
Yeah.
is, and research on it before I feel comfortable making a decision.
Yes, and all of that would be part of the studies and that we would go through with the planning board, because as the reviewing authority, and this, and we, of course, you would see that information as well. The purpose of this was just to add the parcel into to the code. But all of the studies and all of the review process, we would go through that and explain everything and conduct all of those studies, and that would be delivered to the planning board as
Why
well.
don't you just go to the planning board with that change, let them, and then they can share the answer to this with us.
Well, we have to go to the town board in order to change the law.
Right.
Well, but
No, because we have an overlay.
we'll have the input from them as to whether we should or shouldn't, that's what I'm sharing.
Well, this would not be approving the project, this is just merely to add the parcel to the code so that we can pursue the project. And that, by pursuing the project and going through the approval process that's been outlined in the law with the planning board.
I'm sure, yeah, if we did change the law, and they probably would have to go to the zoning board of appeals.
Right.
So there's a lot involved. I don't want to encourage you to go to any boards and spend a lot of money.
Right, that's why we're coming here
That's
to
what
see
you're looking at.
if we can even do that by
Right.
adding a parcel.
Right, I don't want to see you do that. But
Yeah, that's,
I'll look at any data, any information you get,
Yeah.
or give, but I don't want to encourage you to go to the planning board and then if it doesn't meet muster, come back and say, well, you sent me to the planning board, you spent all this money,
Understood.
and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Just so my position's clear.
definitely, no, and
As
I,
one person.
Agreed.
and I appreciate that, and
Yeah.
that's why we're here today, just to focus on the parcel, not so much the project, just the
Yes.
parcel itself.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, well,
And that's what we're trying to take our, due diligence and start this with your end here at the town board. And then if we receive that approval of the change, then, once we get that, and then we can even know that we can potentially move forward, then go through all of that process with the planning board and the review, the formal review.
Well, you have 5 members.
yeah,
You
I
need
can tell you
3
tonight,
votes.
I won't be ready to say yes or no to this. I need to see a lot more data. I need to see the location, I need to see how far away from the overlay district it is, I need to see what people are involved. I mean, I realize what you're saying, it's safe, but there's always risk associated with storing batteries, heating, and
Yeah.
I need to see who lives around that area, I need to see what what the topography of the land looks like, and I suggest let us do some of our, at least for me, do some of our own work, and I'll reach back out to you to come to the board, at a certain period of time.
Definitely.
That works.
Is there, you talk about, you mentioned the topography, kind of the distance of nearby areas. Is there anything else that you're looking for as additional information that I can help provide to help guide that, or
I mean,
just general information about the area, or?
You'd have to go through the whole planning
Yeah,
process.
I mean,
They would have to
the
do
issue is,
investigation.
the issue is the safety of the batteries overall, so, it's difficult for me to say, okay, we're gonna let you, we're gonna add 25 Smith Road into the overlay district. Let's just say, it's hypothetical, we're gonna add it into the overlay district, okay? We're not gonna look at nothing, and then the planning board thinks everything is safe, and we have a problem out there. There are residents all over the place. I need to feel comfortable that I'm not putting a resident of this town in jeopardy.
Okay, yeah, so I think, we can help provide more information about the area and the topography and.
Yeah, I'd like for you to send me, you sent this to me on email, I'd like for you to send me an email on, the battery storage unit, what type of batteries they are. Give me as much information as you can so I can do some research and get a little bit more comfortable with it.
Okay.
All right, fair enough? Anybody else?
You've already said,
I agree.
risk of fire,
Yeah.
if you have 100 of these units, how many wind up burning up?
Well, with each of our developments that we've done, there's always a very extensive fire safety study, fire, in case of, which hasn't happened with our projects, but in case of, this is the emergency response procedure that we would follow, and all of that will be developed.
None of us are on the fire department, but I would imagine they're gonna want to weigh in heavily on this.
Everybody will want to weigh in
Yeah,
heavily.
but especially them, they need to make sure they have the equipment,
Yeah,
God forbid
right.
something happens there, so.
Once again, just to reiterate, we have had a negative approach toward battery storage for solar. And we're very, very happy when the solar people came to us and said, no battery storage. It made it a lot more palatable for us, or at least me. So just, you need to know where I stand,
Okay.
you know, with this whole arrangement.
So Austin, if you get me as much information as you can to my email, I'll share it with the board members.
We'll do that.
And then we'll give you a shout back to say, come back in front of us, we're ready to do something.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Item number 4 on the agenda is Deputy Alan Faust is retiring as of
No,
March
it's the
15th.
boiler, number 4.
What do they do?
The boiler.
No,
She said.
no.
I got 4
She
out
said,
there.
I got 4 down.
That's a boiler.
I don't have a boiler on mine.
I lost that one.
I don't even have it on me, quite honestly.
Okay.
You have it?
Yeah, here we are.
I got the old version, I guess.
You got my version.
Number 5, right? An electric boiler for the town?
4 was out.
Right.
Yeah, so 5 is the boiler, and 4 is fast.
That's right.
4 is Faust, 5 is the boiler. So we're
Right.
All right, yeah.
That's what I got.
Got it.
You got it.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Al sent us a letter, Dear Honorable Joseph Petro, George Lyons, Phil Cantorino, Douglas Bloomfield, Rick Florio, and Chief James Post. It's with profound sense of reflection and gratitude that I announce my retirement as Deputy Chief with the Town of Goshen Police Department. Effective, my last day will be February 29, 2024. Dedicating 30 years to the Town of Goshen has made this moment very bittersweet. Growing up as a proud member of the Goshen community, I always had one goal in mind, and that was to be a police officer in the town, in which I cherish so much. When I was granted the opportunity 30 years ago, I always knew that this is the place I wanted to be for my entire police career. From my early days as a young 22-year-old patrolman to my current role as deputy chief has been nothing short of transformational. I will always be proud that I have been part of the transformation and growth of the town of Goshen Police Department, to which it has evolved into today. As I bid farewell to the town of Goshen, I will continue my police career, which I recently been appointed to the position of police chief for the village of Tuxedo Park. My heartfelt gratitude for trust, guidance, and the opportunity warrant me to serve the Goshen community will always hold a special place in my heart. Lastly, and all my present and former colleagues, you have been a special part of my life and will always be considered family. Thank you again for the memories, the lessons, and the journey. Sincerely, Al Faust. All right.
Motion to accept his resignation?
Do we? Motion to accept
We
his
have
resignation?
been, we have.
Well, he did retire, so.
He retired, he didn't resign.
Oh, okay.
Do we need a motion for him to retire?
No.
Let's call him back so he can
I
retire.
think we should send a letter and thank him for
He
his
will,
service.
he will be having a retirement party.
Good.
We'll be, all right, next on the agenda, review and approve the purchase of an electric boiler for the town in the amount of $9,800. We have, the existing boiler has finally met its demise. It's gone to the boiler cemetery in the sky. Half of it doesn't work, so we went out and we got an estimate. He was able to keep it under the $10,000 under an emergency situation. I need any questions on it?
Nope.
I just need a motion to approve the purchase of the electric boiler at the town hall in the amount of $9,800.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
That's a good thing, by the way. That's been giving us trouble for a long time.
Yeah.
Review and approve the resolution to accept the dedication of 1.4 acre piece of land along Broadley Road from Oak Hill Properties LLC for highway purposes. Authorize the supervisor to sign and any and all documents relative to that. This is the Serenity Hills, correct?
Right.
Broadley property, this is house. I went through it, and Kelly went through it, correct?
Kelly prepared all the documents.
Kelly prepared all the documents. If anybody has any questions, concerns?
You need a motion?
Do.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept the dedication of 1.4 acres as described by Supervisor Petro.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Need a roll call and
Aye.
a resolution.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Councilmember Cantorino,
Aye.
Councilmember Lyons,
Aye.
Supervisor Petra,
Aye.
Councilmember Florio,
Aye.
Councilmember Bloomfield,
Aye.
Okay. Item number 7 coincides with item number 6. It's a motion to approve and accept the conservation easement from Oak Hill Properties LLC and authorize the supervisor to sign any and all documents. Any questions on that?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Roll call?
Roll
no, I
call.
don't need a roll call.
Okay. Review and discuss introductory law number 11 of 2023, amending chapter 97 zoning, section 10, subsection D. We had gone through and approved this at the last meeting, and there were some questions on the secret EAF that George had. I think he has since got his answers from Kelly.
Yes, I spoke to her.
So all the board really has to do is declare, make it a negative declaration. So, any
wait.
questions?
Yeah, hold on, just hold. This is, okay. This is for removal of groundwater for use outside of the town of Goshen, correct? This is 11?
That's correct.
Yeah, they're looking at the EAF.
Okay. Well, I'm just looking at what we had in the minutes of the meeting. In the minutes of the meeting, because there was a great deal of controversy there, this is under Town Supervisor Joseph Becker responded that water will come from the pipeline in Middletown to the town. So we have two different, the local law 11 says we can take it from the, I got so much paper here. Okay. It's for the removal of groundwater for use outside of the, so it's removal of groundwater in the 11, but yet we said to the public at our meeting, water will come from the pipeline in Middletown. to the town.
Initially, yes, that's what I said.
So what is it? Is it,
Initially, the water will come from the city of Middletown. Are we going to be looking at doing something with those wells? That's our goal, yes. Provide, I know where you're going, so.
no, I'm just trying to be clear.
Provided that it meets all the criteria of the Board of Health, that the green sand system is in, that everything is taken out, and it's potable water.
Well, I'm sorry. Again, I want to tell the public that I'm a biologist and physical scientist. I worked in the chemical industry, and part of it was as an environmental manager, where I had 3 PhDs working for me, 1 for water, 1 for air, and 1 for land. We're talking about with this thing, and I just, like in PFOAs and PFOSs, to get contamination, you can be 0.002 parts per trillion, and get cancer, liver disease, et cetera, et cetera. Now we know that area out there is contaminated. It's got a landfill that's been there since 1964 and was shut down in 1993 because it's toxic. And we do not know what's in it, but there's probably 60 to 80 different chemicals and toxicities in it. And I think this, and so let me share this with the board, okay? I'm going to vote no on this because I don't want on my conscience if someone gets cancer.
There's no vote here tonight.
I'm
It
just
was already
talking.
voted last meeting.
Huh?
It was already voted on last meeting.
Well, we voted to shut down the public hearing.
No, we voted to, we were going through the entire process, and we had a question on the secret EIF that was prepared by Kelly. And he had a question, and I couldn't answer that question. So what I said was, let's table that section of it.
Well, okay. Then I stand.
If I'm incorrect, Mary, you can, but that's, all we're here to do tonight is declare a negative declaration.
Right, you have to review the EAF, declare a negative declaration.
And then.
And I assure you, Doug,
You can vote on the law tonight if you want.
you
If
can adopt
wanna
it if
wait,
you want, correct.
It's up to you guys, yeah.
Well, I just want to share with the board.
Public hearing.
we're proceeding on with all of this stuff. But, you know, on our conscience, we make a decision tonight or next week, Saturday, or when the hell day it's gonna be. What I'm sharing with you is, someone can die or someone can get ill by using that water from that landfill out there. I just know that. It's obvious. And so, wherever the paperwork takes us, I'm absolutely against it, because I think that, and it doesn't take a great deal, I mean, it's so risky, so risky. So anyway, I've said my piece again then, I'm sorry if it's.
So, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
If everything is done properly and all the testing
No.
is done properly, what? It just appears out of the blue
No.
sky?
I'm sharing with you that,
But Doug, you can't just share an opinion, you have to have facts.
well, look, I am sharing a fact with you.
That's not a fact, that's your opinion.
Okay, well, you know what? We have someone that's coming that has makes mulch. And he wants to pull water out of this same thing and put it on his mulch and sell it to people to put in their yards. I'm saying this is a dangerous thing, dangerous.
So what would you like us to do? You want further,
I do not
further
want
testing?
to, I don't want anything to do with that, pulling water out of that ground next to that aquifer. I don't feel comfortable at all with these neophyte, I'm gonna call them neophyte, technical people that say, oh, we can put a yellow, green sand, this, that, and everything else. I'm sorry. It's dangerous, and I don't want on my soul the death or injury to somebody, because this is what I did for a living. I'm sorry. That's what
I'm gonna have to weigh in on this also. I've been on this board many, many years, and these lip-off wells have always been in contention for purchase or for use and so on and so forth. But we opted more than 30 years ago not to use these wells even through our drought. We had to buy pipe in water from Lake Glenmere. At that point, we were worried about using water from these wells. If you do research across the country, most of the time you see carcinogens and everything. A lot of it comes out of water, out of wells, out of streams that have been contaminated, the Love Canal. But people have not found out until 30 or 40 years later the ramifications that were of the water that should have been drinkable, potable, and so on and so forth. I've been living with these wells for a long, long time. Its proximity to the landfill, and I'm going to be very honest. I'm only one vote, but I would rather see us not vote myself to approve the purchase of these wells. Now, I know they're in private hands, and whatever they do with them, they're going to need the DEC approval and so on and so forth. I understand that. But I'm with Doug. I see so many children that are born with situations because of safety precautions that people thought they were taking. We now have a known quantity that we're trying to fix. It's not a quantity that we didn't realize. So, for my part, I just want to put the board on notice that I'm not going to vote for it. So, that's all.
So we have to figure out how we reverse the vote to buy the lip-off wells if nobody wants to buy them?
I don't want
This
to
was-
vote.
Doug, you already voted on it.
I'm saying I don't want to
It was already
vote.
voted.
I don't, we'll vote again, and I don't want to buy them.
We already voted.
Huh?
We voted already.
That was months ago.
Yes.
Well, fine.
Then what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we doing with this?
We were doing seeker.
We're doing
Right.
just seeker to,
So once we approve seeker, then what resolution do we have to approve?
Then you can vote on
Just
introductory
adopting the
law
law.
11.
Right, and if we don't adopt the law,
then you
Then
vote
you
down.
don't adopt the law.
So,
and we own the lift-off
look,
wells,
this has nothing to do with the lip-off wells. That's what I'm saying. You have to look at these two phases. Okay, it's one thing, you don't want to buy the wells,
Right.
we'll get that reversed, and we'll
Okay,
tell them we
okay.
don't want to buy the wells. This is to connect us to Middletown and be able to
Just sell
buy and
water
sell
for the
water
other-
back and forth.
That's no problem.
Yeah.
Fine.
That's
No, that's not a
the
problem.
whole thing
No, no.
we're doing tonight.
Well, I'm looking at this though, and what we said, whatever, whenever, you know, I don't want us to proceed on with this.
Okay.
If you want to reverse the purchase of those wells, I will find out if there's any default or anything. Please,
Yeah.
I will find out what we have to do, and if we are legally liable to purchase them. And then we can buy them and let them sit there and do nothing.
That's where I'm at.
No problem.
Okay,
Back to what we were doing.
okay.
So under the seeker, we need to declare this a negative declaration. I have a motion to declare it a negative declaration.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye. Okay, so can
I'm sorry.
sorry.
No,
Can I
I
weigh
want him to
in
do
just
it.
a second on this issue? So we're done with the EIS at this point, we just have to vote. But local law 11, you know, as everyone's saying, speaks to the removal of groundwater.
Groundwater.
So effectively, I think it's really important for us to have other supplies. So one of the issues with this particular thing, getting the water from Middletown, this was originally because of Amy's Kitchen. They are the one that put in the line and stuff. And one of the issues with that, with Joe DeStefano is, if Middletown water is coming down to us, then what he was looking also for, in case he ran into some difficulties and problems, that we could supply some water with him. So it would be a back and forth type of thing. However, what I'm thinking of is maybe local law number 11 could be addressed, and it seemed like the board doesn't have a problem with the water that's coming from the line to be resold, maybe to the village or some other entity. But the question is the lip-off wells and the potential contamination. So maybe local law number 11 should be modified or changed to be able to do that, but not with groundwater.
Yeah, I attributed the groundwater to lip-off wells.
I did
That's
too.
where I drew the
Well, I
line.
think that's the case.
We could,
But
no,
now
the county has
but
four
apparently
wells,
it's
the
not.
county has 4 wells up on their property
Right.
that they may be looking to,
To me,
allow
that's
us to,
okay.
allow us to take water from.
I understand.
So there's a lot of other things. Everybody keeps bringing up the lift-off wells. I understand where you're getting that from.
Yes.
Because that's the testing that we did, and the part 5 that we did was on those wells. So
Well,
I will find out from the attorney how we address this, because we already passed the law, so how we address it.
You voted to buy the wells.
I know.
well, we need to do something, and not using water from within 500 feet or whatever that contaminated.
Please don't say that, because this house is within 500 feet of that contaminated well.
I'm sharing with you.
Yeah,
And you know what? It's a very, very serious problem. When they shut down that landfill in 1993, they were talking, they don't know what's in there, but there's probably 60 to 80 different contaminants. And they all can be, I just looked up the PFOAs and PFOSs, which became popular, knowing about it, in the year 2022. Now it takes 2 or 3
I think the
parts
con-
per trillion to kill somebody.
I think the confusion is when they talk about groundwater.
Yeah.
If we buy and own lip-off wells, that just goes into the same pot as all the groundwater that we're using, and that's the part that I don't want to see happen. So I don't know how we can separate this. I understand.
Nor do I, that's why we have to take it.
Yeah, and I
let the
understand
attorneys
taking
look
the
at it.
water, selling it to municipalities, I don't have a problem with that at all. But the way
Let me
this
say
works-
something else, okay, if I can. You know, I was the supervisor of 8 consecutive terms, 16 years, and I was the one who did all the water and sewer. No one ever came to me from another municipality and said, I need water, can you help me? Never. Why does this all of a sudden happen now that we need to have water on our hands to give to someone else? In fact, if you have a swimming pool, what do? You get commercial water to fill your swimming pool. We had a problem in Arcadia Hills where we had to bring in 2 tractor-trailer trucks of water about 3 years ago. And they were right there because we had a failure in one of the wells. It was no big deal getting the water. So they can get water. Why do we have to be the ones to provide it and sell it? That's where I'm at. For wherever that's worth.
All right.
Okay.
So, again, I will reach out to the attorney, I will reach out to Kelly, ask her what we need to do in this instance. And then we'll bring, and once she gives me the determination on the lip-off wells, if we can even reverse it, not buying them, I'll bring it back to the board.
Or eliminating them from this particular resolution.
Yeah, no, that I got.
We could do that.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, okay.
So one of, preferably, I don't wanna buy the wells if we can't use them, certainly.
Right.
But if we're stuck legally to them because we voted it, and
Yes, then we just make sure we don't use them, that's all.
so Mary, I mean, you spoke to Kelly on this, I didn't, unfortunately. What we have to
There's
do?
nothing else we can do tonight then? We're gonna go back
Right,
in.
okay.
This was already referred, the planning board's made notes on it, I've made the changes from the planning board, and it has gone to 39 referral from the county, and it's our determination,
Okay.
so the wording has to be changed, we'll have Kelly look at it and rewrite it.
Very good. Okay. Item number 9 is review and discuss introductory law number 4 of 2024, repealing local law number 5 of 2023 related to the removal of certain utility poles and creating a new chapter 87 in the town of Goshen Code called entitled utility poles. It's not a seeker action. Go ahead.
This was one we did last year,
Correct.
except I put it in the wrong chapter, I put it in chapter 108.
So
We
it's,
don't have a 108, so we're just moving it to chapter 87, but we do have to have another public hearing.
okay, you date on that?
I need a public hearing for March 28th,
So moved.
So moved.
Do we need
Bill and Doug.
Yeah.
all in favor?
Aye.
March 28th?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I do have a question, Joe.
Yes, sir.
We're talking about the town. Does the state roads, do they have their own comparable?
This came from Senator Skoufis.
Okay. The reason being is we had an accident on 17A this past week. The pole's probably 3 feet from the edge of the road. And and it's a bad turn. He hit it, and that's about the 5th time since I lived out there in 30 years. Somebody's hit it. I thought, well, maybe they ought to move it up on the hill.
But this is, this local law is only for what they call zombie poles, poles that are not being used.
Okay.
Yeah. But that pole, I think, was wrecked in that crash, wasn't it? That pole
Well,
was
no, they
wrecked.
replaced the pole.
Yeah,
They replaced
put it in the
pole.
same place
Put it
though.
right in the same hole, but that's about the 3rd or 4th time. Because it's so close to the edge of the road, because of this outcrop of rocks.
I'll send an email to Eric Fuentes tomorrow, asking him to take a look at that.
Yeah. And the fact is, I think in this case, the guy hit a broke the pole off, his car rolled off in the other lane. It could have been a bad accident for a lot of people.
He was inebriated, that's why.
Oh, I know, I understand that too, yeah. That happens.
All right, number 10.
5. Well, number 5, maybe local law number 5,
Yeah.
but it's number 10.
Review and discuss introductory local law number 5 of 2024, amending chapter 97 zoning of the code of the town of Goshen to update provisions to relate to replacing of applicants' escrow deposits. So Mary, as I understand it, this is at Frank's request to amend the code that once an escrow account gets to 25%, that they have to replenish it, or no further work will be done?
Correct.
Anybody have any questions, comments on that?
I do.
March 25th?
What, you have? Oh, that's
I
fine.
do. I have a couple of questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Escrow has been really one of the real sore points with me, because we have had it go below a certain point. I know what he's trying to achieve, but if for some reason, let's say the escrow goes down to 30%, and it's not triggered, but the escrow money is not enough to cover the services needed for that application, and what happens is the town pays for that. And if it's happened, I've been there, it's on planning board when it happened.
We have I'll ask you,
Yeah,
if you don't
okay,
mind.
go ahead,
So,
yeah, no, go ahead.
We have a policy in place right now that Grace is on top of it, so she knows, she sees what's coming up on the planning process, she knows from Sean and Kelly an approximation of what they're gonna be, and she'll notify them if they're gonna completely deplete that.
Right, but this says 25%, as I said, if it's at 30% and it doesn't dip below 25, and then it doesn't look like she can ask for more money until it hits the 25% mark.
Technically, yeah, but if she knows that they're gonna evaporate that 25%, because the percentage is deceiving, because it can only be $100 in escrow.
Exactly.
So I understand where you come from.
Yeah, that to me, but I just want to make the board aware that that could happen. And then the other two things about this is, one, it says below 25%, the applicant, unless requirement is waived by the chairman. I think we should strike that. If they go below 25%, they go below 25%, because I don't think we should be able to waive something like that, because it's town money that's at stake. That's number one. So it says he can waive it. And the second thing is, the applicable board may suspend its review of the application until it's replenished. And I think that the board should suspend its review of the project. We have to get tough on the escrows, or we're gonna stick it to the people in the town on the taxes. So I would take out the.
Taxes don't cover escrow. It's the consultants that don't get paid.
Right.
Yeah, but we don't cover
Well,
escrow.
a lot of times we do pay them and then find out that we don't have the funds
Never.
in escrow. We did.
Not since I've been here. So we have a lot of upset applicants right now.
Yeah, well, and we do, because we didn't make them replenish the amount of money. That was in the escrow account.
That's what
And that's
this
what I'm
is
trying to
for.
avoid.
That's what this is for. That's why we got to this. We can go back to Lee and say, he's the one that I think drafted most of this, right, Lee? and-
Yeah,
It was Kelly
Kelly.
and Frank.
and Frank?
yeah. The only questions I have is that they may require them to do it. I think they should be required to do it. And that the chairman has the authority to waive it. There would be no reason to waive it if the funds are not there in order to go forward with the
I
application.
honestly don't even understand that. Why would anybody want to waive it?
Yeah,
Nobody
exactly.
will waive it.
That's really, okay, those are the only two areas that,
Okay, so how do we address this? We obviously can't vote the local law in tonight because we have to make changes.
Well, we can accept we can introduce the local law
Oh, we got-
tonight. We
right,
can
'cause
set
we-
a public
Public
hearing.
hearing, right.
And we
Yeah,
can
sure.
address these issues.
All
yeah.
right, so, public hearing,
Can I have a
Motion
motion
to-
to accept the
So
local
moved.
law?
So
Second.
all in favor?
March 25th, right?
All right.
First, it's
At
Hold on,
seven,
accepted.
George and Rick.
Or
Now
somewhere
we're gonna
after.
set a public hearing
Motion to set the public hearing for March
for March 28th.
28th.
So moved.
28th?
March
Yeah.
28th.
Oh, okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Dr. Bill.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay.
Review and discuss introductory law number 6 of 2024, amending chapter 50 entitled Electrical Inspections of the Code of the Town of Goshen to update provisions related to electrical standards and inspections in conformance with the New York State Uniform Fire Prevention and Building Code. Again, this is coming from the building inspector. There are changes based on the New York State code that he's to update our code.
Yeah.
Mary, how many of these public hearings do you want to have in one night? You want to have them all four of them? Or what?
They should go pretty quick. They're not,
These will go
It's
quick.
not controversial.
non-controversial.
So you need a motion
So
to set
we
the
need-
public hearing?
Any questions first on it?
I don't know.
So I need a motion to accept the introductory law number 6.
So moved.
Second,
I have Rick and Doug.
all in favor?
Aye.
I need a motion to set the public hearing for March 28th.
So moved.
Second on Doug, all in favor?
Aye.
Local law number 7. Review and discuss.
I'm sorry. Can we go back to the replenishment of escrow?
Yes.
Yeah.
This has to go to the county planning department
Yep.
and the town planning board.
So they can't be March 27th then.
No, it's April 11th, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Do we need to redo the motion?
I'm just gonna change the date from
April
April.
11th.
Right, so which ones are they now? They're going to the county?
The,
Introductory law 5 for
5.
escrow.
Said April 11th?
April 11th.
Item number 12, review and discuss introductory law number 7, authorizing joint recreation committee, JRC, to establish rules and regulations regarding town parks. This was adopted by the village 2 weeks ago?
Good.
2 weeks ago?
That was my question.
Yep.
Good.
Village did it first. We both talked about it, and Molly went ahead and did it first, and then we told her we'd back it up right after that. So I don't know if anybody has any questions or concerns about it.
Kelly did review it. It doesn't need seeker and it has no referrals or
No
anything.
referrals.
So we can
So we accept it.
accept the local law instead of public
Have a
hearing.
motion to accept the vote.
So moved.
I have Bill and Rick,
All in favor?
Aye.
public hearing for March 28th.
So moved. Second.
I have Rick and George.
All in favor?
Aye.
Review and approve town clerk to attend the town clerk conference in Albany, 21st to the 24th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Discuss and review town of Goshen's travel expense reimbursement policy. I'm gonna let Christine take care of that.
There's a detailed list attached.
Yep.
Very good.
Yeah, detailed plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, she,
Detailed plan.
we're just trying to
Yeah. Formalize it.
formalize it and make it easy for
People doing the
everybody to
travel.
understand.
Yeah, that was good. That was.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Any comments, Christine? No? Okay.
Do we have to accept that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, need a motion.
I need a motion.
I'll make the motion that we accept the,
Travel expense reimbursement
Right.
policy.
I'll second that
Bill
motion.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
To review and approve the town board minutes dated February 22nd, 2024. Do I need a motion to accept them unless anybody has changes?
I have no changes. I'll make the motion that we accept the minutes of February 22nd.
Second?
I'm gonna, go ahead, second.
Who's second?
Bill.
No, I
Yeah,
I have to
approve.
abstain.
Oh,
I
so
wasn't here.
abstain.
Okay, wasn't here.
Oh,
Yeah.
So all in favor? Aye.
Aye. And abstain.
One abstention from Phil. Okay. Discuss and approve a motion to authorize the supervisor to pay accounts payable check run for.
No, sorry,
No, TRK.
I don't have that.
sorry. It was added at the last
TRK,
minute.
for legal services.
Yeah, that's fine. What was that at the last minute?
What was that?
Number 16.
It was review and authorize the supervisor to sign the agreement with TRK for legal services for the sewer consolidation.
Right.
The same lawyer we used for the water consolidation.
It's not to exceed 12.5, I think, right?
Any questions?
Oh, no.
I don't have a motion.
George just made that motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in
After
favor?
order, Bill.
Aye.
Aye.
Whoever's putting these things together, we're gonna have to fire them or deduct them.
Thank you. Can I go on the trip?
No, go to Senator Albany.
Go on the track.
All right. Discuss and approve a motion to authorize the supervisor to pay accounts payable check run for March 14, 2024 in the amount of, I don't know, 203,900?
No,
231, 276.
I gave you the paper, it was on your account. I did give you the paper.
I'll make that
I got it.
motion.
Here you go.
231, 276.22.
I so moved.
Bill,
Second,
Aye.
Bill and Doug.
all in favor?
Aye.
Discuss and approve a manual AP run as of 1/31/2024. Is there an amount on that?
There it is, I didn't put it in. Fired again.
Christine, do you know what it is?
No.
It's $222,504.10.
So moved.
Second,
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Discuss and approve the transfer of funds from Webster Bank to Orange Bank and Trust. See attached memo from the budget officer.
It's all under finance, that's all you have.
This is the, closing the Webster Bank that we talked about, and moving everything over to, consolidating everything in Orange Bank and Trust.
Because,
we were able to get a very attractive interest rate and waive a lot of fees, like
And
consolidating
they
everything.
closed the branch.
And they closed the branch. We had to go to Florida.
Florida,
Excellent.
yep.
Do you need a motion? or-
Yes.
Motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second,
all in favor?
aye.
Budget Officer Christine Cavallari performed an accounts payable review for February 22nd, 2024. It is attached, very thorough. Good job, Christine.
Thank you.
Yes.
Discuss and approve the 2023 year-to-date budget transfers from 12/31/23 submitted by Budget Officer. They are anybody have any questions on them?
No,
Second, I need a motion to
So
accept
moved.
that?
I'll second it.
George second?
George.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discuss and approve the 2024 year-to-date budget transfers as of 3/1/2024 submitted by the Budget Officer. They are attached also. Anybody have any questions on them?
no,
Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Discuss and approve the request by the Budget Officer to create a new SWC fund and open up a new SWC bank account for the newly consolidated water district. Opening it in Orange.
Mhm.
Anybody have any questions on that?
Thank you, Trust.
no.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that concludes privilege of the floor. Anybody would like to address the board? Please come up.
Yeah,
Do I need the mic?
Yeah, they'll be
Because
here
it's
for
for
the-
people up. So,
Joe?
You know what I think what happened is, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
we accepted the 1.48 acres, but there was a conservation easement.
I did.
And
Is
then
that part of it?
we accepted that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
accepted
you're
it.
allowed to
Yep.
go to sign all the papers.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry.
no problem.
Yeah.
Just curious, not to extend the discussion on water, but the water that the town currently supplies, are we doing the testing for all of these elements that Doug is concerned about in the water that we supply?
We do the testing that is
Well,
recommended and by the Board of Health, yes.
but we're not.
I'm talking about the materials that Doug is
No,
providing,
we're-
PFOS, et cetera.
No, that's because these wells are next to the toxic landfill.
I understand that.
The ones that are in a subdivision, we don't do that.
So, Bill, all
I
water
think it's
has,
all a theoretical consideration until we do the testing, that's my point.
Well, the ones in
And
the.
maybe the water that you're talking about,
We-
contiguous to this property needs to be tested, and then we know what we've got.
so there is a, in the governor's budget this year, she's setting aside, the number may be wrong, so if I apologize if I'm incorrect, but I thought it was $248 million for water to combat PFAS and PFOS. There's documented proof that you could remove 99.5% of all PFAS and all PFAs out of the water with a carbon filtration and reverse osmosis. That is our intent in the town, to do that wherever we can, if we're awarded this grant, and if we're not, find a way to do it, because we all know PFAS is bad.
Yeah. Okay, but
We don't control that.
I think in the end result, the testing is the proof of the
We-
pudding,
we-
no matter about. the
Well, we know-
quality.
We have
Everybody.
tested for PFAS.
We have.
We've done that in the past.
Yeah, we test
Okay.
now for PFAS.
But
it's
but
not
there's
a
other
regular-
80 ones that are, we don't even know what they are
Yeah.
because there's no record of what they are.
There's PFAS in the water,
Yeah.
but it doesn't rise to the level of concern on the number that the State Department of Health has put out there.
Okay,
So we do it quarterly, I think Dominic said.
okay. My only point is, numbers is what I would rely on,
No,
rather than theory.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yep, we do it.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Mike?
So we had a sidebar during the rest of your meeting, literally, and we're just curious if the town board would commit to the $35,000 that you're allowed to spend. That way, we can kind of back into a number, and if the village and JRC can't assist in any of the funding, we can try and secure at least a hard number privately with other donations or fundraisers or whatever.
I don't think we said no to the 65.
Right.
No, I know, I understand that, and I'm willing to work with you guys in the town and, or the village and JRC. My thing is just, if I know I have the 35 and the other things fall apart, at least I have a hard number to back into.
To go raise the rest of the money.
We better
But
talk to a lawyer first.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know that,
Before we give
yeah, I don't know that you can do that.
No.
You can't, my understanding is you can't segment it.
Right.
In other words, you know, the 35 or 40 or 50, whatever it is. If the total amount of the project is over the threshold that we talk about, then as a municipality, we have to adhere to all the rules and regulations. And as you say, you know, the.
Unless I fund it 100%
Even if you
myself.
fund it 100%, if it's going on town
Going on
property,
town property.
and you're gonna have something
That's
built
what I
on
was
town property,
understood.
then it will have to go out.
Well, believe me, I got it real quickly.
Well, we'll find out.
Okay, well, we were just trying, I didn't realize that was the part.
Give me a week and then, you know, you'll be back in front of us, I'll poll the board, you know,
Yeah.
and then we'll,
Okay.
go get
Just
back
as
in
an
front of
aside,
the-
the
I mean,
35,000, nice figure.
the money,
At 65,000.
the money that goes into,
35%.
just to be clear, the money that goes into the park and rec fund are specifically for things that we have to do with the park.
We just missed the part that even if we funded it privately, we still needed to do
Still need to come
that.
back.
Got it. I got it.
Right,
All right.
that's
That's the building and all that stuff.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I agree.
Hello.
All
right, how you doing?
Just state your name for them.
Peter Giordano, 80 Old Chester Road, Goshen, New York. I live on Old Chester Road. I missed last night's meeting. I got a phone call from my neighbor to come here today and that they'll be able to speak. As far as the new cannabis, they're putting a proposed warehouse. All right, you're changing the entire landscape of a residential community. Now, when you say it's agricultural, if you're making money by selling cannabis or making cannabis, that's commercial. It's zoned residential, isn't it? So I'm a little confused, like when a player gets paid, a baseball player gets paid, he's a professional, just like when somebody's making money, to me, that's commercial. It's a residential area, and having a big warehouse there with barbed wire, cyclone fences, you're also gonna bring a negative element, I believe, into the neighborhood, because people are gonna be not the best type of people are going to be looking at cannabis, looking to break in. People are driving down the road. To me, it's a negative thing. That's all I want to say. I don't know, we're going to vote on this one Tuesday?
No, that's before the ZBA.
Yeah,
ZBA.
no,
It
It's
has
a
to go
zoning
before
board
the
of
zoning
appeals.
board first, it hasn't even come to this.
All right, I apologize. I
No,
was
that's
hoping to come here
good.
today.
It's okay,
It's
that's
okay.
good.
But those are my views. I said, if it makes any sense to you, I don't want a cannabis place up the block. Thank you. I might shut this off or whatever.
Neil?
Thank you.
State your name.
Yes.
Thank you very much. First of all, at the last planning board meeting, they decided that they would like to televise their, I guess it's called televise.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Okay.
I made the phone call.
Okay, they said we weren't sure that night whether we had to get permission from you or not to do that, so, good. That's first. Second thing, and this is just a shot out. Would it work, or could the town loan the money to the softball to do that? And I don't know the answer at all, I'm not, it was an idea I had up there, that way it's not your money, you loan it to them, they can pay it back, whatever. I know you have fund loans sometimes.
To get around what though? What are we trying to get around by loaning them the money? The
That's
prevailing
what,
wage?
prevailing wage.
Okay.
Right, it's only prevailing wage, I think. Okay, so that was that, and then the well information on the, you should have that in town hall when you sent us money up and Sue went up to New Paltz to get the information for the tax cert. That information came back, I believe, and I know we shared it with Mark Rudolph at
I'm
the
sorry,
time.
what information?
On the wells. We went up there to get a bunch of.
What the contamination is?
On the left wells?
It was in the whole general area, the Lip wells were included. And it came back, but I don't remember anything about them. I know we shared it with Mark Rudolph, and that's when they went to Middletown for that. And the last thing is, I want to just thank Joe or the supervisor for letting the ERB meet with him on Monday. That was very helpful. Okay, thank you.
Just to comment on the wells and your point, after that, we did another part 5 on both of those wells.
Okay,
So there's an up-to-date one, if you want to look at it, it's publicly available.
I never intended to get it as well, so. No, but I just knew that the information was there otherwise. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Can I get a motion to close the March 14, 2025 public hearing?
Somebody else.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait, later on.
Sorry.
Jean D'Onofrio, 7 Howard Court. I'm just a little bit confused about the water law, and I've been coming to all the meetings. I guess it was February 22nd when we had the public comment. So was that the meeting where it was approved?
No, that was the meeting, we had a public hearing. We closed the
Okay,
public
and
hearing.
where was it approved? At the planning board meeting?
No.
It wasn't approved at all, Jean.
No,
Oh, okay, because I thought you were saying it was approved.
The public hearing, we closed the public hearing.
Oh, okay, so, maybe you can change the law so that it says that you're only doing Middletown water rather than the groundwater?
I think that's what Phil
That's what they
addressed.
want to
That's what I
address?
addressed.
I have to tell you, it's
Yeah.
really difficult to change the law to just say we're doing Middletown water, because I don't think anybody has a problem with wells that are on the county property. So water comes from the ground. The purpose of it is to gather as much water as you can. There's concern about these wells, I don't agree with it, but I understand where Doug's coming from, so.
Who owns the wells? Like, I live on,
Amy's
Howard.
Kitchen.
Who owns
Amy's
Right now,
Kitchen.
Amy's Kitchen.
They own them.
the wells for where I live on
No,
Howard?
No,
No,
those
no.
4 lip-off wells.
You own your own well.
I own my own well.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you would never take my well water, but?
No.
Oh, okay.
We will if you give it to us.
No, this is just,
But my well is affected by all the houses around me, all the water comes together. I'm sorry, comes together.
I don't know where you live, so unfortunately, I'm sure you're part of an aquifer somewhere, so yeah, you're pulling like, your neighbors are all pulling.
So if they start pulling water out of this aquifer, then it can affect me.
What's your address?
It's 7 Howard Court,
It's on
and
Rolling
then
Ridge.
Rolling Ridge is right around us.
I'd have to look at the map and see whether you're in zone 50 or another zone. So I don't know.
Okay.
I
All right, so
believe
for
they
that, I
said we were in
misunderstood.
zone
I thought you
50
did
the other
approve
night.
the law.
Watershed
I
50.
believe they said we were in
Watershed
zone
50.
50.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Good question.
Anybody else?
State your name. Okay. I'm June Evers. I don't know if this is the place I can say this, but is there any way we can put like a moratorium or anything on all this rapid building that's going on? You know, the cannabis, the stuff down by, I'm on Gates Schoolhouse Road, the stuff down on 17M, and just this, seems like there's a lot of building going on. It kind of seems against the town vision from maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago. I was just wondering if there's a way we can just step back and tap the brakes on this and just make sure we're doing the right thing.
I believe that's what the planning board does do. They look at each application, and if it conforms to the code was set up, I don't know exactly when that industrial park was set up. I'm assuming you're talking about on the 17M corridor?
Yeah, but I think people were thinking it's gonna be car dealerships or, you know, I don't know, furniture stores. We had no idea it was gonna be these giant mega warehouses running 24/7. I think, you know, nobody ever thought that would ever happen. So maybe just tap the brakes and say, are we doing the right thing for Goshen? You know, and just think.
I don't know if a moratorium is even warranted. We don't have that. I know we have a lot of projects, but we don't have a lot of things that have been built on 17M. We have one approved project right now. There's 2 more on the drawing board. It's still in the process. Everybody's weighing in on it, so is the planning board. Don't know if it's going to be approved or not be approved. That's what the planning board does. Other than that, I mean, the big warehouse that you're talking about on top of the hill, 17, that was not approved in the village. That's village property, actually. We don't
She's
begin
talking
until,
about the one at
what, Hilly
17M and
Hilly
Parkland.
Ford?
Yeah.
That's where we begin in the town.
There's
So we
two
have
of
we have a very small stretch. I'm sorry, what's that?
I said, she's not talking about the one with the village, she's talking about the one at Hartley and Gates Schoolhouse Road.
That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah,
It's not approved yet?
no.
No.
It's in the approval process now.
All right, so we are kind of tapping the brakes a little bit on it.
Well, they're going through the process. From what I understand, it hasn't even been declared whether it's a negative declaration or a positive declaration. They are, if it's a positive declaration, they are way off in time. So, but I understand what you're saying. I believe, I understand what people are looking at, the residents are looking at, but in comparison to other towns, we have very little commercial growth that's going on. Very
Right,
little.
but this kind of commercial growth.
But that's what you have. That's, you know, I tell my wife all the time, you want to see trucks, you don't want to see truck in warehouses, stop buying on Amazon. Go to brick and mortar stores. Because that's why we're seeing this today. Because everybody buys online. And the need to fill
But
that
then
comes
why
from
are all
warehouse.
these for rent signs? Like there's the two on Police Drive, they just have, I know one has a for rent sign, and then that place up by Middletown on
Yeah, the 14-acre one.
the,
What it is, they didn't have customers to go in them, so now they're finished, and now they're advertising to bring customers in. That's what it's all about.
I heard from the village tonight that the Police Drive location is gonna be filled within the next month. The food preparation company is coming in there. The other one that's being built is a bakery that's moving up from New Jersey on the Police Drive locations. But as far as us in the town go, from Healy Ford to the Site Center, which is our industrial park zone, there's very little building going on there.
right.
So you have two warehouses, as you said, and you have Solomon Concrete is the third one that's on the planning board agenda. That is it.
Isn't it 3 warehouses, one across the street?
That was already approved.
Okay,
That was approved last year,
oh,
but nothing's gone in there.
okay. All right,
But I concur with some of what you're saying, you know, believe me, I sit with the people and sit with Steve, he's aware of the fact that I try to give him as much information as I can, you know, but
you sit with Steve, who's Steve?
Steve, Betancourt.
Oh, okay, all right.
So, you know, we have to look at it from the perspective that we have a zoning code in place, and the zone calls for this, and if they're not looking for any variances, they're not looking for anything, as of right, they have a right to build on their property.
But aren't they all looking for variances?
Some-
They're all looking for
and the variance can,
They're all looking for variances. That's why I'm at the meetings. Everybody's at the meetings.
the variances
We
should be
changed the
turned down.
rules.
Okay, well, I hope they do get
That's-
turned down,
that's-
if we can at least do that.
You can weigh in at the zoning board, that's where they go.
Okay, well, we're all coming to all that stuff. Okay, thank you.
Good.
It's read, not need.
Is that-
Yeah.
Anybody else like to speak? Can I have a motion to close the March 14th, 2024 town board meeting?
So moved.
Second,
I got Phil and Ray.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.